Welcome back to my 100% playthrough of Dragon Age Origins. Today, quite a lot to get through. The first thing I really want to get done is this level up from the end of the last episode. Let's deal with that quickly. Just going to keep pumping up my magic until I hit, I think, magic level 34, at which point we can get some of these high-leveled spells. Until then, I am just going to grab Virulent Walking Bomb. This character? Cool. And in fact, I'm actually going to replace Death Siphon. I'm never going to use Death Siphon, so it can go there. Oop. I want you to swap. There we go. Didn't really mean to use Spell Might, but I guess that's fine. Okay. Now today, don't know how far we'll get through. I am hoping to at least get through most of the Circle Tower today. A part of this game that a lot of people complain about is coming up next. I quite enjoy this section, so we'll see how we go through this playthrough. But first, let's go in here. This is Irving's office.
I half expected to find
as Wynne just said.
I suppose that's too much to
Let's explore.
This should be easy enough.
This chest, now that black grimoire, that is a gift for a character. It's actually a quest-related gift for a particular companion, but we'll take it and we'll deal with the quest later.
As you wish.
Right, Irving's mistake. Let's have a read. I followed another apprentice through supposed secret maneuvers today and exposed to a tendency towards blood magic. The environment of the tower is such that certain modes of thought are encouraged, both for good and ill. The students think we toy with them. The truth is far more intricate and directed. Deviant traits must be exposed early or the whole of the circle suffers. Aldred has been very helpful in identifying the markers to look for. His skills at misdirection are admirable. I dare say that the apprentices would be shocked at his ability to manipulate them. I must organise a retreat such that the other enchanters can benefit from his skills. Excerpt from the Journal of the First Enchanter, Irving. So this is clearly Irving's mistake because he trusted Aldred, who is the one who kicked off all this trouble in the tower. So I don't think the apprentices were the only ones being manipulated.
On it.
Let's have a look.
Ask away.
Staff.
Your command?
Where's the scrap of paper? It's here somewhere. There it is. Circles within circles. Arguments between the various fraternities have become frequent and heated. I have alerted the College of Magi in Cumberland that this needs to be addressed in coming debates, but I fear relations with the Chantry may distract them. I am confident that I can appease the Equitarians and Loyalists, but the Libertarians are proving divisive. Are the Isolationists even interested in speaking? The threat of the Blight has actually served some good in unifying us under a common cause, but it does not bode well that any given table in the Great Hall is likely to be ideologically weighted against its neighbour. We can be such a moody bunch staring over our tea. Excerpt from First Enchanter Irving's notes on Unity. Okay, I think there's one more thing to grab in here. Yep, search the desk. So here is a small painted box. This is a quest this is for a quest we'll get later. If we get the item now, then we don't have to walk all the way through the tower to get it later. But either way, that is it for the study. So let's keep going. And I believe we're heading up to the next floor. Yeah.
As you wish.
Everyone's gone. Or dead. I fear the worst.
Yes?
Okay, now this next room does contain a very hard fight, so be a bit careful coming in here. Looks calm and peaceful at first, but that is about to change. Yep, these corpses arise, but that is actually not the challenge. We'll deal with them while they're here. You might notice I'm keeping an eye on that door because I am waiting for something to happen. Happens partway through the fight with the corpses, and it's very easy to just get distracted fighting corpses and then forget about the real threat. Okay, that dealt with. There it is, the Arcane Horror. So the minute you finish fighting those corpses, the arcane horror appears and it starts blasting. Now these things are extremely dangerous. You need to deal with them immediately. Ignore the corpses. Take out the arcane horror. Probably just focus all your characters on it, if I'm honest. Actually, I might leave Alistair fighting these guys so he can kind of distract them while everyone else deals with this. Fortunately, I did manage to freeze it, which is useful. And chain lightning hurts, yep, it always does. Cool, it's down. So now the arcane horror is dealt with, you can deal with the rest of Shiva. But if you don't leave that arcane horror, if you don't defeat it, it is going to absolutely destroy you if you're not careful. And these guys are being really annoying. Let's use that.
Let's get started.
There we go. So that didn't look too bad, but I do think it's because I focused on the arcane horror from the start. It did help I knew it was coming. If you're playing through this game and you don't know to expect that, then you will easily get caught up fighting the corpses and it will start attacking you from behind. And you'll never see it coming. Okay, let's loot these. I do actually believe we got a codex entry from that fight, so let's check that out. Creatures. Yep, arcane horror. Upon ascending to the second floor of the tower, we were greeted by a gruesome sight. A ragged collection of bones wearing the robes of one of the senior enchanters. I had known her for years, watching her raise countless apprentices, and now she was a mere puppet for some demon. Transcribed from a tale told by a Templar in Antiva City, 713 Storm. Demons, of course, have no form in our world. When they enter, either where the veil is particularly thin or through blood magic summoning, they must take possession of a body. When a pride demon takes control of the corpse of a mage, an arcane horror is born. Though they appear to be little more than bones, these are fierce creatures, possessing not only all the spellcasting abilities of a living mage, but also the capacity to heal and even command other reanimated corpses. Cool, so that is an arcane horror. A pride demon possessing a mage. Now there is a little more to check in this room.
As you wish.
Okay, that's all fine. We do want these ancient texts though, because there's another
enough.
scroll of Bannister here. Let's check that codex. Not entirely sure which of these I've read out before. I have read one of them already. Others may speak of the sanctity of the mind. To those who know the true power of blood, this is foolishness. The mind is no more sacred than the knee, the small toe, or the ear. It is man's organ of reasoning, nothing more. And true reasoning requires connection to the rhythm of the blood, the tireless pounding of life. Interrupt this, and even the mind is yours to control. I think it was that one, but either way. You notice these statues can be interacted with. Don't bother right now. We will deal with those once we've cleared all the enemies off this floor. Right, so the apprentice note over here.
Tricked into a partial ritual. Curiosity unchecked.
So that was the last code. That was the last update to our codex for Watchguard of the Reaching. Now that we've completed it, we can do this quest. But we will also wait for a little bit to finish that off. Not sure which ones of these I've read out before. I think, yeah, it's this one here. Whisper says, Great Hall, hidden above us the whole time, the vessel in hand, words from another time drip literal power. A sword raised to sever connection, a sword lowered to strike through and ground, the threads placed before a warrior's spear raised, shielded from each side so whispers are known false. Where is this? It whispered order, but not where, it's in my head. So this section here, I don't know if that's the bit we just found or not, but it is the important section to complete this quest. It does tell you what to do,
For this unfortunate
but
apprentice.
we will leave it for now and come back to it in a second. Chest here, let's see if Liliana can do this. Yep, easy. Cool, just abominations, there's quite a few of them though. I do really think Spell Might makes a difference in battles like that, because that went relatively smoothly. Okay, and my spells were certainly doing more damage, that's for sure. Scrap of paper, we'll update this Promises of Pride Codex. I've spoken to him directly. His intentions are that we will demand the Templars withdraw. I don't know that I'm willing to follow, but I will be present to hear his argument. Enchanter Fonts, Equatorium. Let's look at the soldier's corpse, just as a dagger. Here's another update for that codex. Madness. I doubt blood will be of use to you if it is flowing down the tower steps. Step away from this folly before it consumes us all. Enchanter Luvan, Loyalist. Cool. Doesn't seem to be anything else in this room, so let's continue onwards. Ah, trap. It's kind of annoying. But fortunately that Templar there kind of got caught on the debris. Now, fighting Templars, haven't really mentioned this before because it hasn't really come up. But as a mage, we do actually need to be careful. Templars are, of course, trained mage killers, but they do have a skill that can turn their default attack into one that drains mana as well as health. Don't seem to be using it right now, but I know they can. There it is. See the -3 that popped up above my head? That's because it not only did damage to my health, it also drained me of 3 mana with that hit. Yeah, so you do need to be careful with them, otherwise you will run out of mana and then you can't cast any spells, and at that point if you're a mage you're probably dead. Cool.
As you wish.
Nothing too exciting on their corpses though. I see Alistair did gain a level, we'll check that out in a second. This torn page here. New codex, 5 pages, 4 mages. Right. Tom Deus vi Eternus, in malefictorum dragos te ventum, salariat ven Deus mentoris, pluratic ven contrivarian. Spake he the words and brought life, spake you the words, ascension, answers lion, text illegible. Notes on the page below. Here I begin my study, knowing full well it will change the circle forever. Let history mark the date that this work began, 929 Dragon, so that when new calendars are put to paper, the date Fonst 0.0 is known with certainty. From the mouths of gods, finally to the people, through me, Enchanter Fonst. Well, Fonst is a little bit full of himself, apparently. Cool, let's keep searching through. Right, actually, let's deal with Alistair's level up. Now him, I think he needs to get more strength. So we'll just pump up strength. And then... one thing I actually should get, once I hit level 9, Cleanse Aura. His Templar skills are quite good against mages. Not too concerned because my own character is actually decent with dealing with mages. But still, having Alistair help there will be beneficial. Until then, I'm just going to keep putting his stats into the weapon and shield tree. Cool. There we go. Easy. Now this room is empty.
Right.
Charm of Still Waters plus willpower. It's okay. Another of those torn pages. Not going to read the Latin this time. It's exactly the same. Notes on the page below. 479 sovereigns plus favours. Immortality worth every coin. Words of creation, proof of maker. No one must know until translations are complete. I will have first Enchanter, the heir of kings. I will own kings. Glory everlasting. Enchanter Modalt. Okay, it looks like Modalt is also rather full of himself. Looks like Spell Mate. I don't actually know when Spell Mate deactivates, but it does seem to deactivate at some points. Anyway, we'll go in here. Okay, a Desire Demon. We want to deal with her straight away. That's for sure. Yeah, she's annoying. Don't freeze me. Oh, she froze me. Okay. Ah, so irritating. Not to mention my spell owner wore off, I'm pretty sure. Come on, don't kill me. Right, we're gonna reload that then. You there? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let them all get closer. Except for the fact she froze me. Okay, never mind, we're taking her out. Okay, she is really irritating. We do need to heal though. There we go. That should be her. One more hit. Oh, yep, there we go. She's down. And with her down, the rest shouldn't be too hard, although Alistair clearly needs to heal. I actually might walking bomb here. Full health, yeah. There we go. I'll admit, I think I've said it before, but I am really enjoying the walking bomb spell. Not one I've ever used before playing this game, but it's kind of fun to just kind of target an enemy and then kill them and they blow everyone else up for you. Cool, all done. Now Desire Demons, so this one here, like you saw, they can be very strong enemies. She does have a unique amulet on her, not one I normally use because of that minus dexterity, but it does have good cold resistance. Charmed Templars, and I know we also got a codex entry from that fight as well, so we'll check that out in a second. Oh, the gold bar, small gold bar, that is for that's a gift for a certain companion, one we have not actually recruited yet, so we will use that when we get that companion. There's a torn page here. Okay, done those two. This one here. Notes on a wondrous discovery. A strange script, uniform by steady hand. Yes, one would expect an agent of the Maker to be steady. In fact, it follows all my expectations of the words the Maker would bestow. It is perfect, and once translated, I will have much fun lording this over the Chantry. Worth every bit, Enchanter Gaius. Okay, so something's clearly going on with whatever these mages are translating.
Right.
Maker, take the vendor. A copy, a fake. Why didn't I see? It was obvious. Spake? Laughing stock. No one must know. Bayer Jome, I find him, I'll kill him. So I think this unnamed mage here probably has the most correct reading of whatever this text is meant to say. It's probably a fake mage just to get some money out of gullible mages. Right, now let's check our codexes, because I do think we got another one. Yep, we did. Desire Demon. In all my studies, I must say that the most intriguing was my interview with the Desire Demon. That the creature was willing to speak with me was a sign that this was no mere monster, mindlessly driven by its nature, but rather a rational being, as interested in me as I was in it. It took the form I would call female, though I had no doubt that it could appear otherwise. I wondered if it appeared as it did because I wanted it to, or because I expected it to. She, and indeed I could only think of her as such now, smiled warmly at me and laughed a musical sound that seemed to thrill my old heart. So frightened was I of this creature's legendary abilities to twist the hearts of men, and so relieved was I when I looked across the table into her dark eyes. This was a fearsome creature of the Fade, but as I spoke with her, I slowly came to realize that this demon was merely as misunderstood as we mages are ourselves. From the journal of former senior enchanter Malleus, once of the Circle of Ravane, declared apostate in 920 Dragon. Of all the threats from beyond the veil, few are more insidious and deceptively deadly than the Desire Demon. In folklore, such demons are characterized as peddlers of lust, luring their prey into a sexual encounter, only to be slain at the culmination. While a Desire Demon can indeed deal in pleasure, in truth they deal with any manner of desire that humans can possess, wealth, power, and beauty, to name a few. far more intelligent than the bestial hunger and rage demons, and more ambitious than the demons of sloth. These dark spirits are among the most skilled at tempting mages into possession. Many who serve the whims of a desire demon never realize it. They are manipulated by illusions and deceit, if not outright mind control. Although these demons are reluctant to resort to such crude measures. Instead, they seem to take great pleasure in corruption. The greater the deceit, the greater their victory. Only demons of pride prove more fearsome opponents when roused. Their abilities to affect the mind allow them to assume disguises and even alter the environment to their purpose, not to mention the great strength and speed they possess if they should have to resort to more physical means. More often, a desire demon will attempt to bargain its way to freedom. If overpowered, many stories exist that depict mages defeating desire demons to the point where a wish can be wrested from them. It should be noted that in such stories, the demon almost always gets the upper hand, even when the mage thinks his wish has been granted. There we go, a bit more about desire demons there. Okay, final room. Nothing in here. Okay, it's fine. We will open the chest.
I could do that for you.
Liliana can manage it. Here you go. Come on, why can't I find you? Alright, that was the last of the 5 pages. See, 5 pages. That was the last one. So let us see. The words elude me, but I will defy their obstinateness. Worked by the old gods or the Maker himself, I will wring their secrets into my hands. I need the essence of the powerful and the pure, and so begins a bloody road. But at the end, godhood. The keys to the Black City, Enchantaronis. Go, another deluded mage, and their quest updated because we found them all. Several of the Circle Enchanters were unknowingly studying the same forged tome. Someone named Bayer Jome took advantage of their egos and likely made a tidy profit. Keep an eye out for him. This is not a quest we can go with any further at the moment. We have to leave the tower to be able to complete that. So just leave it in your journal for now. Okay, with everything else on this floor done, let's head into that central room that we passed a while back. Here it is. Oh, autosave. Okay, Abomination. Now you may notice some mages around there. During the course of this battle, if you don't take out the Abomination fast enough, they will be killed and turned into shades. So the quicker you end this battle, the less enemies you actually have to fight.
Desperation is an ugly curfew.
I'm actually wanting everyone to kind of target this one. Just to end this battle a little bit quicker. Okay, you need healing. I honestly should probably play around with tactics a bit more and get characters to do things like heal when they're below a certain percentage of health by themselves. I just honestly keep forgetting to do it. Yeah, you see, you might not have seen, but one in the background just turned into a shade, sorry. Alright, need more mana. Alistair needs more health, as do I. Cool. At this point, I think all the mages are basically dead, so I'm just taking out the minions to reduce a little bit of the pressure on my characters. Okay, cool. There we go, done. Now I just need to take out his last minions. Do you notice there's a shade over there? I think it's too far away to detect that there's a battle. So it's kind of just standing there. Hey, White runestone. Now that is actually a gift for Alistair. He likes runestones. Let us... I'll deal with the shade in a second, but let's just give that runestone to Alistair.
I could get used to this,
Yep,
you know.
plus 9. And he got his plus minor constitution. Also, codex updated, so once your companions reach a high enough approval rating, they'll get a bit more information, and usually the first thing you get is some information on what gifts they like, which of course helps you improve their approval faster. So Alistair is fascinated by magic, even as his life is defined by fighting its darker manifestations. He has a fondness for strange runestones and figural studies of arcane creatures. Quite interesting. While we're here, also got something for the skeletons we fought. Skeleton, the demons of the Fade, are jealous of the living beings they sense from across the Veil. They constantly push against the boundaries of the Fade, and when they finally cross over, they attempt to possess the first living creature they see. They are unable, however, to distinguish that which was once living from that which still is. In fact, a corpse provides an even more tempting target to a weaker demon, as it has no will with which to resist the possession. The demon cannot rationalize why this is so, it only sees a target and grasps at the opportunity. A skeleton is exactly that, a corpse animated by a possessing demon. Upon finding itself trapped within a body that cannot sustain it, the demon is driven insane. It seeks to destroy any life that it encounters, attacking without thought to its own welfare. The exact names given to skeletons of this type vary according to the nature of the demon that possesses it. A fanged skeleton is a skeleton possessed by a hunger demon. These skeletons devour whatever life they encounter and often possess the ability to drain life energy and mana from their victims. A shambling skeleton is a slower moving skeleton, possessed by a sloth demon, able to bring entropic powers against its opponents, slowing them and even putting them to sleep. More powerful demons have been known to command skeletons, but at that level they are known by other names, Revenants and Arcane Horrors, to name 2. Yep, and we have met both Revenants and Arcane Horrors, and can confirm, definitely harder than a normal skeleton. Cool. Let us keep going, and we'll have to fight this Fade. Oh, I keep calling it a Fade, it's a Shade. A Fade is where the Fade is where they're from. A Shade is those things. Okay. Let's have a poke around here. Okay, nothing of interest there. Okay, now that we've actually cleared all the enemies from this floor, we can do... oh, we'll grab that.
As you wished.
We can do this quest, Watchguard of the Reaching. So, the notes Apprentice Gant have revealed an ancient ritual in the Circle Tower. It begins in the Great Hall Common Room, although Gant was apparently unable to complete his own attempt. So if we go here and look at Gant's notes, which is quest related, it's one of these, I think it's down the bottom, yep, this one. What you want is that very last entry, this one here, and we will go start in the Great Hall Common Room. Which is the first big room in this on this floor. This room here. Okay, so now you notice how the statues can be interacted with. This is what we need to do. We basically need to activate the statues in the correct order, and the notes here tell you the order. So, the vessel in hand, words from another time, drip literal power, put on bowl, and then a sword raised, a sword lowered, and a shield. So we need to go statue with the bowl first. Statue with the sword raised, which is the far one. Then statue with the sword lowered. And then the reason you needed to wait until you cleared all the enemies from this floor is that the final statue is not in this room, which is probably why Gant couldn't finish his attempt, because he didn't realise that. But it's actually in the central room where we fought the abomination, so head back there quickly and you'll see that one of these statues can be interacted with. And it's a statue with a shield. Okay, quest updated. A low rumble signals the lowering of ancient protections. Something is free in the lowest levels of the tower. Now this is by far the most ambiguous part of this quest, and I'm honestly not sure how you meant to work this out. Yeah, I'm going to run to where we need to go, and I will basically meet you there. See you in a minute. Okay, here we are back on the ground floor of the tower. As you can see, we're in the library where we did the summoning ritual. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how you're meant to work out where to go. It does say on the lower floor, so you could probably guess it's this floor, but even so, it's not really clear what you need to do once you're here. And I can tell you the answer. The answer is you need to go... Oh, there's a chest. Okay, I got distracted. Let's open the chest, and then we'll click what we need to click. Okay, just some random loot, that's fine. Yeah, you need to go to this locked door and click on it. That's basically it. You can't pick the lock, but you just click on the door.
Something I can help with?
You should save before doing this, because this enemy is actually quite strong.
As you wish.
And then behind you, Shaward will appear, and he immediately throws a fireball, which is just annoying. Fortunately, you do have the mages over there to help you out in this fight. Yep, that's why I saved. We're going to reload that.
Let's get started.
To be fair, yeah, those mages can be pretty annoying with you as well, because they do throw fireballs, which can hurt you as much as the demon, even though they're your allies, technically. Okay. Your best strategy is actually probably to run over to them, especially if you're a ranged character like I am. Yep, and then just take him down. However you manage to do that will depend on exactly what character you're using, but for this one, it involves throwing a lot of spells, and if I could have healed, that would have been nice. Try again. And yeah, I know the rest of my party probably could have won that, but I've said it before, and I'll say it again probably. I am hoping to win this game without my main character falling in battle, just to get an achievement. Certainly not necessary. And when you need to heal, please. Okay, it looks like Liliana's fallen. I really don't want Alistair to fall in battle though, because that'll make this a lot harder if he can't take hits. There we go, he's down. Okay, and when he dies, Shaward drops this bag here. Definitely want to grab this. Okay, it's not the bag you want, that is random loot. He drops a pile of rags as well as the bag. That's what you want, because this has a bunch of gems, but more importantly it has Usaris, which is a unique greatsword, so a two-handed weapon. And Usaris has a codex entry, which is why you really want to grab it. Okay, let's check our codex. I actually think we got a couple of entries maybe, and as you'll see we completed the quest there, Watchguard of the Reaching. So let's see, nope, just a codex for Usaris. I thought we got another one, but that's okay. Usaris the Dragon Slayer. In the company of monsters he went, down the empty wolf roads after the dragon to the lands where the ice is like steel. And the air grew thin as a beggar, and every rocky path is strewn with the bones of the lonely dead. There Dane dwelled, and 50 swords were worn to rusted ruin, before at last they found the cave of Finchal, ancient keeper of the mountains, bane of the wolves. Dane sought a way in which the dragon might be felled. Fiend of fire and talon, its scales brighter than any warrior's mail, teeth greater than men, and all around the slumbering worm were bones. Wolves, men, beasts beyond counting, the fume of death frightened even the wolf pack, and Dane, desperate, crept into the cavern to seek the monster's death alone. There, shining among the dead like a star, his hand found a sword, Usaris, forged by the dwarf smiths for an Alamari lord long ago, waiting age after age to be taken to battle once more. And this Dane freed from the earth and struck at the eye of the dragon, still sleeping, with a swift, terrible blow. And Finchal woke, wrath, only to die, from Dane and the werewolf. The legend of the blade Usaris predates Andraste, the sword that Dane found in the dragon's treasure hoard, which he used to slay both Finchal and the werewolf, was passed on to his son Haftar. Dane may have been fiction, but Halfter was fact. In 140 Divine, he led the Alamari tribes against the Darkspawn that flooded into Ferelden Valley and the Dwarven lands. He not only drove back the Horde, he also defeated the combined forces of the Avars and Chastened, who hoped to take advantage of the chaos. His victories earned him such respect from the tribes he was named the First Turn. After years of ruling the valley in peace, it is said that Halfter left Ferelden, sailing into the unknown east of the Amaranthian Ocean, with the blade still in his hand, never to be seen again. And somehow the blade ended up here in the hands of that creature. Cool. Well, that was all I needed to do back here. Now, to be fair, you could have done this after completing the Mage Circle quest, when you're already on the basement floor, or the ground floor I should say, but you know, I wanted to do it once the quest was completed. So I will cut now and meet you back on the upper levels of the tower where we left off. So, see you in a minute. Alrighty, here we are back on the Great Hall floor, and we will just head straight up to the next floor. Okay, the Templar quarters.
No. I'm going to have nightmares after this.
Extracurricular studies. Notice herewith that the exercise area on the 4th floor shall serve as permanent berthing for the Templar garrison stationed at the tower. Since facilities that accommodate their particular training requirements are already on hand, they will be assuming an even closer watch over circle affairs. Enchanter Bergen's optional weapons training is cancelled until further notice. Enchanter Bergen has additionally stepped down from teaching duties. First Enchanter Sinclair. Okay, private documents, don't really need those. I actually wonder how's inventory space. Absolutely fine. Perfect. Okay, I actually know what this room is. It can be quite difficult. We'll see what happens.
It is time. Everything is just as you wanted, my knight. Our love and our family is more than you hoped for.
Yeah, so you've got a couple of choices here. You can just attack the demon. You can actually allow the demon and the possessed Templar to leave, which surprisingly enough gives you approval with Liliana, of all people. And fighting the demon and Templar will actually get you disapproval from Sten. So in terms of approval, letting the demon go is actually the good choice for once. However, I want to fight them, and you'll see why after the battle. But it is a desired demon, so it is a fairly difficult fight.
What was that?
Help!
Hence the reason I saved before it, so we'll see how this goes.
They're going to murder the children.
They will not get past me.
As usual, I target the demon first. Let us go with Cone of Cold. I think we hit each other with Freeze at the same time. That's fine. Cone of Cold is stronger than Winter's Grasp, so I defrost first. Let's actually use Mana Cleanse. If I can. Oh, one healed me. Thank you, one. Kinda needed that. I am going to use a potion as well, though. Demon's down. That's probably the hardest part of the fight. If Win can... Nah, I froze everyone. Okay. I kind of want Alistair to use a potion, but he can't right now. Oh, that's alright. Win healed him. Oh, I'm going to use Death Siphon for once in my life, because the character did it without my conscious command. still haven't taken out the Templar, actually. Should probably deal with him. Especially since Alice is down. But again, you can see there he's draining my magic. There we go. Not too bad, and take out the last corpse, and we're done.
It's either you or me, and it isn't gonna be me.
Sweet. Right, let's revive Alistair. There he is. Okay, now I did say I wanted to do that fight, and the reason is actually this Templar. There's a codex entry you get for looting his body, which you cannot get in any other way as far as I'm aware. This one here, the Notice of Censure. Okay. Templar dress. Your remarks in front of the recruits are only the latest in a series of troubling events. I am beginning to suspect that you may not be suited to the devotional requirements of training. Perhaps it is time for a personal evaluation of your career path within the Templars. I will schedule some time after the current deployment to discuss options elsewhere in the organization. Attendant Sarand, Assistant to Knight Commander Gregoire. A note is scribbled in the corner. Attendant who? Options? Code for dead-end duty on a hedge mage hunt in the Benorn. Okay, yeah. Judging by the fact that this guy was possessed by a desire demon, he probably was not the best suited to Templar training. But anyway.
Let's get started.
Yep, so I fought them just to get that codex entry, because again, I am trying to get all the codex entries I can. Yep, and here, Sailor's Charm, decent enough amulet, but Sun Blonde Vint, -1, that is a gift for a companion we don't have yet, so we'll have it for when we get him, but until then, it's just going to sit in the inventory. Okay, I believe there is one more room here, yes there is. Right, okay, there's a blood mage down there, we need to deal with him. Unfortunately, trap triggered. Ouch. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Nope, I'm dead. Alright. Okay, well, I guess I know there's a trap now. Let us deal with the blood mage by that. Let Alistair trigger the trap, if anyone's going to. Oh, blood mage actually came to me, that's handy. Cool, got him I think. Don't know if he's dead, he's not dead yet. Okay, we'll keep attacking him then. There we go, he's down.
Yeah, that's right. What did I tell you?
Okay, Archon robes. Pretty good armor actually. Not probably better than what I'm currently wearing. Alright, can you open that please? No, actually you can't. Liliana does have a cracked skull, which gives her a penalty to cunning, so we'll actually heal that and see if she can open it now.
On my way.
No, she still can't. Okay, interesting. Hopefully it doesn't have anything too important then.
Right ahead.
Oh, where'd you see that, Liliana? I think she nominates triggered this trap this time. Rogues can disarm these, but when you're getting attacked by enemies, it's not really easy to do. But disarming it did give me an achievement, actually, so that's cool. Nimble. Disabled a trap. Yep, Liliana certainly did. Okay. Can't get that chest, and that's it for this room. Alrighty.
Oh, look, visitors. I'd entertain you, but too much effort involved.
Killing demons is enough entertainment for me, thanks.
But why? Aren't you tired of all the violence in this world? I know I am. Wouldn't you like to just lay down and forget about all this? Leave it all behind.
Can't keep eyes open. Someone pinch me.
I'll not listen to your lies, demon. You have no power over me.
Resist. You must resist. Else we are all lost.
Why do you fight? You deserve more. You deserve a rest. The world will go on without you.
Okay, so here we go. New quest, Lost in Dreams. Rest and reflect. You are a Grey Warden in Weishaupt, attending to your duties. The Darkspawn are gone, defeated forever, and you and the other Grey Wardens are a relic of an era that is past. Now is the time for rest and reflection. Well, that sounds nice, doesn't it? Let's see how that goes. Here we are in Weishaupt, apparently. Okay, can't interact with this. That is fine. And here we have Duncan, of all people.
Ah, there you are. I'm not disturbing you, am I?
I can't quite remember what I was doing.
I'm sure you were simply deep in thought. You've been at Weishaupt for some time now. Do you like it here?
I don't know. Something doesn't seem right.
Everything is as it should be. We have eradicated the Darkspawn, and the world is at peace.
That's not right. The world is never utterly at peace.
But now it is, for the first time in history, and you played a part in the making of that history. Do you not remember?
Vaguely, as though it were a dream.
It was a triumph for all of us, bringing down the archdemon and setting the underground lairs ablaze.
That's not possible. You're hiding something from me.
Foolish child. I have given you so much and you cast it back in my face. Can you not be content with the peace I offer?
You offer complacency, not peace.
It seems only war and death will satisfy you. So be it. Have your war and your Darkspawn. May they be your doom.
Yep, so unsurprisingly, this was not quite the utopia it seemed, out of nowhere, after we met the demon. We're actually in the Fade, and the sloth demon was trying to just trick us to be happy here. Now you have to fight Duncan and these wardens. I suggest taking out the mage first, as always. So one of these wardens is a mage, so let's just take him out. These enemies may seem easier than what we have been fighting. That is simply because they are scaled down as the game knows you're no longer going to have your companions with you. So they are a little easier because it's just you fighting them alone. Cool, and then it's just the archer left. There we go, done. Okay, quest updated. Escape the Fade. The Duncan you met was a demon in disguise. You are in the Fade, the realm of dreams, and you must find your way out. And you've got optional quests to free your companions as well. Okay, so this is what we're going to spend the next portion of time doing. While you're here, by the way, make sure to click on a lyrium vein at some point.
This should be easy enough.
It fully heals your health and magic, but it also gives you a codex entry. Lyrium. More than half the wealth of Orzammar comes from a single, extremely rare substance, lyrium. The Chantry believes it to be the waters of the Fade, mentioned in the Canticle of Threnodies, and the very stuff of creation itself. From whence the Maker fashioned the world. Only a handful of mining caste families has it extracting the ore, finding veins in the stone quite literally by ear, for in its raw form lyrium sings, and the discerning can hear the sound even through solid rock. Even though dwarves have a natural resistance, raw lyrium is dangerous for all but the most experienced of the mining castes to handle. Even for dwarves, exposure to the unprocessed mineral can cause deafness or memory loss. For humans and elves, direct contact with lyrium ore produces nausea, blistering of the skin, and dementia. Mages cannot even approach unprocessed lyrium. Doing so is invariably fatal. Despite its dangers, lyrium is the single most valuable mineral currently known. In the Tevinter Imperium, it has been known to command a higher price than diamond. The dwarves sell very little of the processed mineral to the surface, giving the greater portion of what they mine to their own smiths, who use it in the forging of all truly superior dwarven weapons and armor. What processed lyrium is sold on the surface goes only to the Chantry, who strictly control the supply. From the Chantry, it is dispensed both to the Templars, who make use of it in tracking and fighting Maleficarum, and to the Circle. In the hands of the Circle, lyrium reaches its fullest potential. Therefore, Maori craftsmen transform it into an array of useful items, from the practical, such as magically hardened stone for construction, to the legendary silver armor of King Calenhad. When mixed into liquid and ingested, lyrium allows mages to enter the Fade fully aware, unlike all others who reach it only while dreaming. Such potions can also be used to aid in the casting of especially taxing spells, for a short time granting a mage far greater power than he normally wields. Lyrium has its costs, however. Prolonged use becomes addictive, the craving unbearable. Over time, Templars grow disorientated, incapable of distinguishing memory from present or dream from waking. They frequently become paranoid, as their worst memories and nightmares haunt their waking hours. Mages have additionally been known to suffer physical mutation. The Magister Lords of the Tevinter Imperium were widely reputed to have been so affected by their years of lyrium use that they could not be recognized by their own kin, nor even as creatures that had once been human. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genitivi. There we go, interesting lore about lyrium. Okay, just jumping in here quickly with my dwarf commoner character, just to show you what happens to a dwarf if they try to use delirium.
I have lost the
The answer, of course, is absolutely nothing. Again, it's tied in with the lore of Dragon Age and how dwarves interact with lyrium. Same reason dwarves can't use magic. But yeah, if you've got a dwarven character, you will not be able to use delirium veins duality, which can make the area slightly harder, especially if, like you see down here, I am running quite low on potions. It also means they don't get the codex entry from it. I believe they can get the codex entry later on in the game, but they can't get it here because, again, they can't interact with delirium itself. Anyway, just thought I'd jump in quickly to show you that. Back over to the main playthrough. Alright, so in the Fade, let's use this Fade pedestal, see what we've got. Okay, so here's the Weishaupt Fortress. The only place we can go right now is the Raw Fade. So let's head there and see what's happening. Here is Niall. We did actually meet Niall during the Mage origin story, briefly. But let's talk to him and see what's happening.
Who are you? Where did you come from? Are you a demon? Wait, I know you, don't I? You were the apprentice who left with the Grey Warden. Who would have thought you would end up here with me? Good job for getting out of that trap.
Yes, what now?
I don't know. This place drains you of everything. Hope, feeling, life.
We'll find a way out.
No, there is no way out of here. You think there might be, but you'd be wrong. You see that pedestal there? I've studied the runes on it. Runes that signify different islands of the Sloth Demon's domain. The Sloth Demon itself is on the center island, but you can't get there. The 5 islands around the center somehow form a protective ward. I thought I was getting somewhere when I figured that out, and I went to each island in turn only to have my hopes dashed. There's always an obstacle. You'll see the path but be unable to get to it, and it taunts you and drives you mad.
I think I'll go take a look at this pedestal.
You think you'll find a way out, don't you? You believe that? Maker. I believed it too. It seems like eons ago.
What do you know about the Litany of Adrala?
Not much. I know that it stops blood mages from taking over your mind. I don't even know who or what a Droller is. You're better off asking someone more knowledgeable.
Okay, I should go explore this place a bit more.
I don't want it to end like this. Do you feel it? It's getting so cold.
Okay, you can talk to Niall more if you want, but he doesn't really help you any further. So we need to explore this place. Now, we have a glowing door here, but we can't do anything with it right now. More lyrium. Let's head through the portal. Okay, Rage Demon. Let's deal with him. Nice and easy.
Thank you, but too late for me. Kill Yavina, the demoness that rules here. She protects her master, Sloth. There's a door only demons can see. The key must be in another realm. Take my power. Save any others trapped in nightmares. Kill the demons that guard Sloth. Make my...
Okay, so this is kind of what's very unique about this area. You make your way through here, and as you do, you gain 4 different forms. So we just found the mouse form, which literally lets us transform into a mouse. The mouse cannot fight, but it does have stealth, so you can sneak past some enemies if you want to, but that's not really its main use. And what these forms do, including the mouse form, is they let you bypass certain obstacles that you can't get past without them. It's basically how this area prevents you from progressing. You need certain forms to get through certain obstacles. In this case, the mouse lets us go through a mouse hole. So let's do that. But like I said, it can't fight, so let's do that in a mage form. The other 3 forms, by the way, do let you fight, so it can be quite fun, especially for non-mages, to be able to use some of these forms that have quite unique skills, or skills that are usually restricted to mages. For now, we'll just keep following the path. Another of those glowing doors.
Let's make this quick, shall we?
Cool. Yeah, pretty straightforward.
As you wish.
Now that mouse, if you were listening to him, did kind of tell you what the deal with this area is. So each of these areas have
Something
a boss.
happened, didn't it? You look a little different. What happened?
So each of these areas have a boss, and you need to defeat the boss to get one step closer to fighting the sloth demon at the end. I became a mouse.
Did you? Did it help? I know I saw the tiny holes. Were you small enough to get through?
Yes, it was easy.
You're so much braver than I am. I was so sure it was impossible to get anywhere. Do you think you could learn other shapes? Maybe they could help you get to places you couldn't otherwise.
Cool, and that what Niall said there, learning other shapes, getting places you couldn't otherwise, that's kind of your hint to tell you how to get through this area. Let us go check out our codex though, because I think we have a couple of new ones. So controls, that's telling us about phage shapeshifting, and stealth, because like I said, the mouse had stealth, and it's the first time we happen to have used it. Creatures, what have we got here? Rat, that's for learning the mouse form. What are you, mad? Even the most giant of rats isn't going to present that much of a problem to anyone larger than a cat. Even the stories in the archives that tell of blight-touched rats still only attributed them with the ability to spread the plague. The rats themselves got no larger than perhaps 3 feet in length, covered in sharp bony spikes and boils. Disturbing, certainly, but dangerous? This is no fantasy conjured by madmen, young man. You have much more important creatures to concern yourself with. Transcript of a lecture given by Nalia, Senior Enchanter of Hosberg, 844 Blessed. Note, she was later eaten by a blight rat in 846 Blessed. So clearly she should have paid more attention to rats. Anyway. Now this part is why I think this area is disliked, especially by players first-time players of the game, and that is because it's very confusing as to where to go, and it can take you forever to work out what to do next. Now, however, I do have some inside knowledge, so I have the exact idea of what I want to do. So I'm going to go to this area first, the Darkspawn Invasion. You can go to them in any order though, but one of the more useful forms is in this area, so I want to grab it first. Okay, no enemies in the starting area, so that's cool. What I want to do is use this mouse hole. And I want to use that other mouse hole that we see right up in front of us. No enemies in here? Perfect. What, however, there is an essence of cunning. Now, this is one of the reasons I did want to come to the Mage's Tower before doing any of the other quests, and that's because you get these permanent stat bonuses. So we just got +1 to our cunning stat, and we're going to keep that for the rest of the game. It's not temporary, it's a permanent bonus. And I think this is where I want to go next. Oh, if I can do it properly. So getting those stat bonuses before bothering with the rest of the game, I think is extremely valuable. Okay, now we've got some Flaming Darkspawn. Fortunately, we are a kind of ice mage, so we have the spells to deal with these easily. There you go, done. Okay, let's go through here. Okay, I'm pretty sure there is a Hurlock Emissary in here. Yep, want to deal with him first because he can cast spells like that. As always, take out the spellcasters first. It'll make your life a heck of a lot easier, that's for sure. Oh, that is annoying, Hurlock. Please don't do that. I'm asking very nicely. That's that one taken down. Here we go. I'm going to remove that because I think I'm going to need that space later anyway. Okay. Wait for me to heal up a little bit. And then I believe I want to go through the mouse hole next. Can't get through there because you see, if you see the fire, that particular fireball is basically a one-hit KO, I think. So let's go through the mouse hole. There we go, dead. I really shouldn't have drank the health potion. That was, yeah, the last enemies in the area. Perfect. Those genlocks completely optional. You could just stealth past them as the mouse. You don't actually need to go into that room at all. Let's enter this one here. Okay, so now we find a... what's his name? Templar Spirit, right? Yep. Now, he is an ally to us, but we do need to kill what's attacking us. So let's start fighting. Curse of Mortality is actually really bad if they manage to hit you with that. Unfortunately, I can't freeze them in time to stop it. It's a super annoying spell for sure. Basically, if you look at my debuff right now, Curse of Mortality takes spirit damage over time, unable to heal. Time remaining 15 seconds. It's the unable to heal part that is really annoying, especially as a mage. I'm not especially strong. So my best bet here is simply to run away and hope that no one notices me until this curse expires and I can heal. But I am taking damage, so it depends if it kills me before it wears out or not. Really close to doing that. No, I survive. Awesome. I'm going to use that on myself, try and save potions where I can. At least health potions. I am running low on those. Okay.
Let's get started.
killed them, but not all. Their leaders are behind the unbreakable door. I give you my wisdom. It will let you see. And now I wake.
Perfect, so we got the spirit form over here. So the spirit form basically can turn us into an arcane horror. There we go. Arcane Horror is actually quite good in a fight because he has some really useful spells, in particular Crushing Prison. This is essentially, it will one-hit kill most things that you will encounter in the Fade. It also has Winter's Grasp, we know what that does, my main mage character has that as well. And Regeneration for a little bit of healing. So he is good in a fight, even if you just switch to him, use Crushing Prison, then switch to something else to do the rest of the fight. It still works well. Let's save there. Now, the Arcane Horror, or the Spirit form, I should call him Spirit, that's what the game calls him. This is, turning to this form basically lets you interact with objects that are intangible in your normal form. So in this case, the essence of willpower. We can now get +1 willpower using the Spirit form. Cool. That's all we can do in this area for now. We need some other forms to actually fight the boss. So let's go to the Fade Pedestal and get out of here. What I am going to do is return to Weishaupt. There's no boss in this area. We've already completed it. I guess the boss was Duncan, if you want to call him that. But we might as well come here because there was this that we couldn't interact with before. Now that we have the Spirit, we can do that and get another +1 to willpower. There we go. Easy. That's all we could need to do here though, so let's leave again. Actually, before we do, go to our codex, because I do have a couple of codex entries. The Veil. I detest this notion that the Veil is some manner of invisible curtain that separates the world of the living from the world of spirits. Whether it be called the Fade or the Beyond is a matter of racial politics I refuse to indulge in at the moment. There is no this side or that side when it comes to the Veil. One cannot think of it as a physical thing, or a barrier, or even a shimmering wall of holy light. Thank you very much for that image, your perfection. Think of the Veil instead as opening one's eyes. Before you open them, you saw our world as you see it now, static, solid, unchanging. Now that they are open, you see our world as the Spirit said, chaotic, ever-changing, a realm where the imagined and the remembered have as much substance as that which is real. More, in fact. A spirit sees everything as defined by will and memory, and this is why they are so very lost when they cross the Veil. In our world, imagination has no substance. Objects exist independently of how we remember them or what emotions we associate with them. Mages alone possess the power to change the world with their minds, and perhaps this forms the nature of a demon's attraction to them. Who can say? Regardless, the act of passing through the Veil is much more about changing one's perceptions than a physical transition. The Veil is an idea. It is the act of transition itself, and it is only the fact that both living beings and spirits find the transition difficult that gives the Veil any credence as a physical barrier at all. From a dissertation on the Fade as a physical manifestation, by Marino, Senior Enchanter of the Minrathous Circle of Magi, 655 Steel. Okay, easy. Right, head back here. Okay, so we've gone as far as we can in Darkspawn Invasion for now. However, since we have the Spirit form, we can actually complete the Raw Fade, so let's get that out of the way. Now the Spirit form is what you need to interact with doors like this. We will go through that one, but before we do, there's another one I want to interact with, so let's go through here. Now we've already dealt with most of the enemies, so there shouldn't be anything too exciting here. Okay, it's not here. By the way, I didn't really mention it, but if you weren't playing a Mage Origin, you should really keep out for Codex entries, because I believe things like this statue will give you a Codex entry. It doesn't for my Mage, because I already got it during our Origin story, but you should keep an eye out if you're playing a different Origin. Cool, here's the door I wanted, change to that. Click on that, and we can go through it, so just basically a teleport. Wisp Wraiths.
Right. Let's get started.
There's another one there.
This should be easy.
Okay, in this area, just +1 dexterity. Not going to say no to that, and the 2 wraiths to fight. Okay, that's all that's here, so let's return back. One thing to say about the spirit form, don't bother trying to move around in it. It is extremely slow. This is how fast you move. Not worth it. Just change back to your regular form to move around. Oh, I actually didn't want that one. Took the wrong portal there. I want to go this way. Okay, this is back to the starting area, so now we're going to go through this particular door here. Okay, straight on the other side, you're thrown right into a battle. This is Yvina, the boss of this particular area. See if she'll crush in prison, she might resist it. But if she doesn't... Nope, she didn't resist it. So she's pretty much dead at this point. We'll just deal with the shades while the crushing prison slowly kills Yvina. It may not completely kill her, but it'll certainly do most of the damage to her, and by the time she escapes, she will have been severely weakened at the very least. Now, she did resist it, but as you can see, she's lost 3/4 of her health, so she's just basically dead at this point.
Let's make this quick, shall we?
Cone of Cold is super annoying, but more annoying is how little health I have. Please let me heal. Damn. Despite that, she actually won. That is slightly annoying. Okay, let's come back here and try a second time. Still going to use the same strategy, because Crushing Prison is a great spell. Could use it on a shade instead, it would take one of them out of the battle immediately, but I'd prefer to just neutralize the boss if I can. Maybe what I should do is attack Yvina though while she's paralyzed. And yeah, now she's basically dead. Yep, there she goes. Okay. Pretty straightforward. Just check my codexes. Controls, that's probably for the spirit form. Yep, shapeshifting spirit form. The spirit form is attuned to all things unseen. It allows you to interact with ethereal objects that would normally be hidden from you. Perfect, I've kind of already shown that, and here's another example here. This is another Essence of Willpower. Very useful for a mage, of course. You seem to get a lot of willpower and cunning in the Fade, but you do also get a little bit of strength, dexterity, and magic. I believe with the stats you increase here. Okay, well with Yvina dead, there's no real reason to stay here, so let us leave. Could probably talk to Niall.
What did you do? I felt something. Like the earth was shifting. Except it probably wasn't the earth.
I killed one of the demons on the islands.
You did? You managed to get to it. I didn't think it was possible. Killing that demon must have opened something. Perhaps the pieces are falling into place now.
Alright, I don't really want to talk to Niall more, so we'll just say nothing. Okay, well I think this is actually where we're going to leave this episode here. We'll finish off the Fade and hopefully the Mage's Tower next episode. Like I said, wasn't entirely sure how far we were going to get, but fairly happy with the progress we've made. So yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.